Hello fitness family, I am coming to you today with some exercises for a client who has flat feet and internal rotation of the femur joint. And I thought, I'm gonna make her a video so that she can see all the exercises and stretches that I'd like her to do. And I thought, you might wanna see them too. She told me that she is willing and able to put in 15 minutes a few times a week. So that's what we're gonna be shooting for today. It's about a 15-minute round of exercises that I'm gonna write up for you and put down below in the description so that then you can just copy paste, you can print out a little sheet of paper and do these on your own time as well, unless you wanna come back and watch me every single time, which I'm sure that's exactly what you wanna do. But all you're gonna need is a block, let me get it, a block or books, either or, and then a band. And if you don't yet have a band, you can totally do all of these exercises without it. This makes all the exercises we're gonna do harder. Maybe we don't even need that right now. And then these you can find everywhere. I'm sure you know about it. I like light ones to start with until we get super, super strong. And then you can start to get a little bit heavier. So make sure you've got these light to medium bands for you. Okay, let's get started. So we are going to be working from the ground up. What happens when we've got collapsed arches? Those knees naturally turn in, and then you try to squat, right? And then the knees, I'm telling you, open your knees, and you're like, I can't, they're not going nowhere, right? So we need to make sure that we first have full control over our arches. So we're going to do this little rotation through the ankle joint. We're gonna roll to the big toe, and then you're gonna roll to the pinky toe. As you're rolling in and out, we wanna make sure that we're not lifting the toe up off the ground and then just once again collapsing to the outside and the inside of the ankle. We're doing those tiny little weight transfers from side to side. At first, this can feel very tedious. If your muscles still need to gain some strength, you might feel some cramping of the foot, of the ankle. That's exactly what we're looking for. So just do as many as you can. If you need to give it a little shake out and then come back in, feeling free to do so. Try not to grab with your toes. Really just kind of keep your toes relaxed, keep them spread out nice and wide on the ground. And then make sure it's not all coming from the knees moving here. The knees want to stay pretty much pointed forward. And then you'll start to get more and more mobility in the ankle joint as the bottom of your feet gets stronger and stronger. And then you'll be able to really feel when you open that your knees naturally kind of go out to the side. And then from here, just kind of squeeze your booty. Good, and then relax. And if you have that natural flat feet, kind of collapsed arch, knee in thing, and then just stand here for a second and just squeeze your butt again and try to roll to the outsides of your feet and present the inner thigh forward. So they call it torquing, not twerking, torquing. And it's when you rotate that femur bone in the hip socket. So you're torquing yourself out, squeezing your butt, and then bringing it back in. So we're starting to train the mind, the neuromuscular system of this is where we are, this is where we want to be. My biggest recommendation is just every single time you're standing there at work, when you're talking in your house, when you're doing the dishes, pay attention to how you're standing. You'll feel this happening. The more practice that you can have just standing with that proper posture and not allowing yourself to just collapse in, the stronger you're gonna get over time, yeah? Because you stand for how many hours a day versus 15 minutes of exercise. This proper standing is what's gonna get you the most results. Let's move on. A lot of times what happens when the knees are falling in, the feet are going flat, the calves get so, so tight. And that is when I like to bring in my block or some books. This block is pretty thick. So if you have tight calves, I have very flexible calves and very flexible ankles, you can put the toe a little bit lower down, right? Because this is an extreme angle for the ankle and for the calf. You can start with the other foot back, right? That kind of staggered stance releases a little bit of tension. But then as you get a little bit more flexible and a little bit more flexible, start to step your other foot forward so that it is going to one day end up right next to your standing leg. Making sure that we're still lifting up through the kneecaps, still dropping the weight down. And a lot of times people start to do this and they stick their butt out. It's allowing these muscles to shorten. We want to make sure, nice long heel down, full flexion of that ankle joint. And then I'm actually going to have you bend your knees here, and you're going to roll down. You're going to roll down over those feet, and you can bring your hands, if you need some props, or bring them all the way down to the ground, to the block. And then you're going to stretch your legs, and then bend your knees. Stretch your legs, and bend your knees. Just kind of moving through this stretch. It can be pretty intense, pretty strong, so deep breaths. Just do it 2 more times. Last one, really stretch, 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 hold, deep breath. And then bend the knees. And roll on up. Okay guys, we're gonna go to the other side. And you can roll out that ankle, anything that you need as you head up and over. And our legs are like our eyebrow sisters. They are not twins, they are cousins. So as you approach your second leg, knowing it's going to be a different animal than the first side, and treat it as such. So if you can't get your feet next to one another, or on this side you'll see, it was really easy for me to step my foot underneath myself. On the other one I was a little bit like, Tin Man. That's fine. Just check in once again, your pelvis, feeling the weight steady on the feet. And then I'm gonna have you bend your knees, and you're gonna forward roll. And then just hands come down. You wanna feel supported. So however high you need your support, set yourself up for that. And then we'll do our straightening and our bend into the knees. As you straighten, you get a strong stretch through the back. It's totally normal to feel this behind the knee. There's connection sites for the gastroc, the soleus, the muscles that we're stretching right now up in that joint. And it's also, if your hamstring is super tight and pulling on it, a lot of times you'll feel that behind your knee as well. On this last one, really stretch, straighten those legs, lift the kneecaps, take a deep breath. And then roll on up, bend the knees, always protecting yourself there. Good. So we're a little bit stretched out. We've got our feet underneath us. Now let's talk about some knee alignment, and this is when the work really starts to happen. You're gonna grab your band if you have one, and we're gonna be placing it above the knees. So you'll see people bring the band in a bunch of different places. What's happening is as the band gets further and further away from your hip joints, the heavier it's going to feel. So today, I want us to start with it above the knees so that it feels the lightest it's going to, so that we don't overwhelm the body and just get so tired that we never want to do this again. As you get stronger, you can go up and band, or you can move the band down. So up and band weight, or moving the band down below the knees, always missing that joint. And then skip the ankles for this exercise, so either above or below the knees. We're gonna start in a parallel position. Now I say this all the time, and then everyone comes here. We love to externally rotate our feet because this allows us to not have full length through our calves. We just stretch those calves, so make sure that the toes are pointing straight forward in front of you and not out here. It is so hard for us to get our knees to the outsides if your feet are further apart. So start with your feet closer together, and then you're gonna feel more successful in this exercise to begin with. We always wanna start with a little bit of a hip hinge. I turn to the side, manager for this is what I wanted, hip hinge. Core pulled in tight, nice long spine. And this is where you wanna be so that we can find proper movement and use of that glute med max as we take one knee in and then open it out to the side. In and out. As we're doing this, you want zero movement in that standing leg. That's what's important. You don't want to feel like it's pulling it with it. And it can be minor. I was just really exaggerating that. But even if you have the tiniest little movement back and forth, we are working both sides here. The lower you go into your squat, the harder this is going to be. 2 more. And then last one. So that was just 10 for me. So I'm going to do 10 on the other side. And as you're pressing out, you're going to feel, oh, my weight's rolling to the outside of my foot, and my sole is lifting up and away from the ground. I love to do all this stuff barefoot so that I can see my toes, I can see my feet. And it's also good to train the body. We put shoes on and it changes all the alignment anyways. So trying to do this barefoot if you can. I know if you're at the gym doing this, gross. So wear shoes if you need. Good. Last one. Now, we're gonna come into our taps. So we're gonna stay in the hinge and we're gonna stay with a slight bend in this knee. So this glute med has to fully support and keep pressing out. You're going to bend and tap forward, bend and tap side, bend and tap at a 45-degree angle, and then bend and tap behind you. Do that again. Bend the knee and tap, bend the knee and tap, bend the knee and tap, bend the knee and tap. Let's do that one more time in a circle. So as you bend the knee and tap, make sure booty's pulling back, especially on the side, corner, and back. Good. Step it in. So we just did 3 rounds of that. I'm gonna write down 5. So make sure you do 5 rounds of that around the world. And then you're gonna do hinge on the other side. Good. And then you're gonna bend and tap. And then bend and tap. And bend and tap. And then back. Again, you go front. Woo. Side. Keep pressing out. Corner. And behind you. And then we'll do that 3rd round. Front. Side. Corner. And back. So you're gonna do 5 rounds of that when you're done with me. And then we're gonna go into some monster walks, some crab walks. So you're gonna come down into that squatted position, pressing out with your knees, lifting up through the soles of the feet, core pulled in tight. And you're gonna step out and then control this leg in. Out, make sure you're still pressing out with that knee that's standing there. Good. 1 more. So I like to do 4 to the right, 4 to the left, 4. So once again, when you're pressing out, I want you to think about the standing leg. 3. Keep the toes and knees pointing forward. 2. Don't start to externally rotate as you step. And 1. And then we're gonna go have some fun. So then I like to do 2. 2. And then the other way. 2. And then singles. So right and left. Once again, the lower you go, the better. So you're gonna keep going right and left as I talk you through. So I like to have fun with this one. It's just nice to get moving. So we did 4 today, so I could stay on screen. But you would do 8, 8, 4, 4, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. If that's just like, Heather, I don't need fun. Just do 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, until you really start to feel. You want these guys to really start to feel like, oh, they're working. I'm starting to turn on these muscles. The more you get that pressure out through the knees, out to the outsides of the feet, get those glutes firing, the more that this alignment is gonna be super natural for you. Yeah, let's just do 1 more each side. Last one, and then up. Go ahead and take the band off. Kick it away, we do not need it. Goodbye. Now, we did our forward bends, we got some stretches going. We're gonna use that in a very active single leg deadlift. So you've practiced your rotations, you need to torque your legs in. So femur is rotating out, weight to the outsides of your feet. We're gonna head into a single leg deadlift. I'm gonna turn to the side here. So you're gonna make sure that that knee stays nice and steady, both hips stay square. It's like you've got flashlights on those hip bones. Oh boy, there she goes. As you take yourself down, and then back up again. Keeping the core tight, and then down, and up. If you need balance, you can totally place your hand on a wall. Foam rollers work if you've got a foam roller out in front of you. But now you're practicing keeping that knee open, open, open as we really find some length through the back of that leg. We'll just do 2 more here. Ooh, and then last one. And up. Let's go to the other side. Always setting yourself up, never just popping into the exercise. So once again, finding torque in that femur, weight to the outside, knee opening, and then you just find your balance over. And then keep your hips square. Try not to open that up. Toe and knee pointing down towards the ground. I definitely recommend as you start these exercises and try to get your body used to them, maybe film yourself. Get a camera nice and close down by your legs. Film your feet, film your knees, and on these deadlifts, making sure that you can see those hips so that you can auto-correct yourself. Let's do 2 more. Feeling the length through the hamstrings, like bend in the knee. Good, and then last one. Ooh, ah. They're warmed up. Okay, so that's it. That's what I got for you. Write it all up. I'll have it down in the bottom. Do as many reps as you'd like, but I had a timer and I am at 15 minutes and 26 seconds. So right around that 15-minute era, and then you get to choose 3 times a week, 4 times a week, and then see, take pictures. Am I changing? What's happening? And then if not, let me know. And then we'll start to add more exercises or change them up a little bit. But I wish you the best of luck. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.